Yeah, what it does, this the big boss, Ricky Ross. You under dig? And it's pretty much like the making. Let's put together in my YAYO, the cocaine capital. It's a reality for everybody that's from Miami. It's too big. It's the biggest shit in the
10 are allegedly connected to a splinter group called the Cloud 9.
Police say Brown and the rest of the gang are responsible for hundreds of gruesome murders and shootings in South Florida since
I made that word famous around the world.
DEA agents say the days of South Florida's cocaine cowboys aren't over, only a little different.
Booby Boys. To protect Kenneth Booby Williams' flourishing drug business that stretched from Miami through Georgia, the Carolinas, and into Virginia, even as far as Detroit.
This is a throwback to the 80s when we had the cocaine cowboys. But this is brand new for us in the 90s now that we haven't experienced this in the last few years.
Are you in the John Does? What are they like?
Who is that?
We have dismantled the largest violent drug group in Overtown and Liberty City, along with a second major competitor in one city.
The drugs back to you.
Police say their weapon of choice was the AK-47 assault rifle.
In Miami with Scarface, that was dope.
Boogie Bird is an entrepreneur. On the street, however you want to put it. You know what I'm saying?
Burt was real cool. He was kind of flashy. Everything he had to be a converter.
Prosecutors dubbed Falcone and Magluta cocaine kingpins who, over a 13-year period, smuggled 75 tons of Colombian cocaine into the United States. They were accused of trafficking more than $2 billion of the white stuff.
Bunky was like the man. Bunky, if there was any problem, you holler at Bunky.
You just want to take over business now that you're handcuffed.
Yeah, what it does, this the big boss, Ricky Ross. In my YAYO, the cocaine capital.
Turf warfare. It was all about drugs, and it was all about selling drugs, making money. It was all greed, but very violent groups. We had to deal with the Booby Boys, we had Bonda's gang, had the John Does. They were all fighting for turf.
But what happened is these guys kind of organized, and everybody, end up getting territories. And when they end up getting territories and getting control of certain areas, what ended up happening is, then they created the gangs.
Hand grenades, just some of the things cops get in a huge bust today. That story coming up on News 4 at 6.
War is raging on the streets of Miami, a war that's leaving a trail of death.
This gun was not acquired and purchased by this group to go out deer hunting.
See the ricochet of the bullet up here?
And the victim was hit multiple times, including a number of rounds fired at close range after he'd fallen down.
You are looking at what these gangs are fighting over. Turf.
On this side of I-95, you got the rich people on that side. You got the immigrants and the poor people.
When you live in these kinds of conditions, no electricity, no running water, as you can see, 90% of the buildings are boarded up.
At what point do you get tired of eating spam? Nigga want a steak. I got with my homie Chris Lawson. That's who directed the video. First, I'm pretty sure he was skeptical when I told him I wanted to do a countdown of the 10 realest niggas that, grace the streets of the YAYO. Top 10 dudes in YAYO. All real G's, man. All real niggas, man. We're gonna set number 10 off with John Doe, Liberty City. You know what I mean? Corey Bubba Smith, Trav, Anthony Field. It's a story that captivated the streets of Miami. You know what I'm saying? These dudes most definitely were highly recognized when it came to street politics. Finna go into the lives of the notorious John Doe gang. Believe that. Right here in my YAYO. It's number 10. Boss.
The important thing to these people is territory. That's the valuable commodity. A human life is not. In fact, a dead person is more valuable to them than a live person because it's like a trophy.
Anthony Fail grew up in this area over here. He grew up in the Scott Projects also, which is off of Northwest 22nd Avenue.
Around Christmas time, 96, I ran into him at a little show going up there at Miami Nights, Studio 183. And he came through there with the little John Doe set, you know what I'm saying? But
well, they said, I don't know, it's the head of the John Doe boys.
It was a beautiful holiday weekend, Christmas, and we had 4 execution-style gangland murders in a row within a 2-day period.
Really, the blood got bad, really about, you know, it was some beef, really, I hate to say it, but it really was about, you know, on some whole shit, you know what I'm saying? Bo had a little hoe, he was vibing at the time, and one of them niggas from that set, you know, tried the little hoe, slapped the little hoe or something. Bo took that person like, you know, nigga, know that's my hoe. Gonna slap the hoe and know that's my hoe. So, you know, he went off or whatever and ran down on the nigga with his little homie, young nigga named Ken Wan. And, you know, both slapped him or whatever with the pistol, and Ken Wan just went head on and, you know, gave him the business.
According to police, Robinson was killed in retaliation to a rival gang murder that took place less than 12 hours earlier, also in Liberty City. 20-year-old Billy D. Walker was shot and killed while sitting in his car. Walker was killed in retaliation for the Christmas night murder of 30-year-old rival gang member Mark Couch. This graphic surveillance video shows the brutal and deliberate shooting, but Couch's murder was merely retaliation for yet another murder. 15-year-old Jarvis Hilbert shot down earlier on Christmas Day. Hilbert's life taken because of this horrific murder on August 30th. 26-year-old Angel Bennett Wilson. Police say Wilson was the girlfriend of this man, Anthony DeJuan Fail, who was a big shot with the John Doe gang, but left to start a gang of his own. Cops want him because they say his actions started the bloodshed.
John Doe felt like dude was in their circle. So regardless of who you is, you know, you done tried our set, you know what I'm saying? So that's, the beef went to going tit for tat at that point. And, you know, the little beef popped off, Bo went to, you know, pressing them niggas or whatever, trying to get the niggas who was supposed to be the shooters on Ken Wan. And in the process, you know, Angel got killed, you know what I'm saying? They had him pinned down somewhere over this nigga house. Angel came through swooping, shook the niggas, let Bo out, and fired off. And when they ran back down on the car, Bo had done got out. So, you know, they in their feelings because he done got away and they had him. So they wasn't gonna let that be his escape route no more. So they went ahead on and did it to Angel. You know, that's why I got this tattoo of the angel. It ain't that good. It's a prison tat, you know. I just got out the room.
Try not to panic so much by every 5 seconds saying shots are fired, shots are fired. It's gonna go on. We know it's gonna happen. People gonna be celebrating in a way that we hope they don't celebrate. They're gonna get shooting. And you know it's gonna happen a lot. So don't get into the habit every 10 seconds. Shots are fired. It's coming from the area. 10 blocks that way, 10 blocks that way. If you do that, that's gonna tap the air all night long.
But this New Year's Eve could be even more dangerous because of Anthony Fail and all the gang violence directed tonight at the police.
They are going to set up lots of rooftop snipers against the police. We got another call stating that they were going to use grenades against the police.
11:30. Get your officers in. My philosophy has been when I was a sergeant, I get all my guys in, we meet somewhere, we're inside. We're not out there 11:30 to 12, we're not. I don't care what's going on.
It was a scary time, not only for the community, but for the police department as well. In fact, there were multiple death threats on police officers' lives, particularly during holidays, New Year's Eve, when you have shooting anyway. Instead of firecrackers, people will sometimes use guns. And we had intelligence on New Year's Eve, as 98 turned to 99, that people were going to be up on rooftops with sniper rifles, shooting cops as they drove through, and throwing grenades. Fortunately, that didn't happen, but that was one of the things we were concerned about. This particular death threat during the John Doe days really shook the police department. They took it very, very seriously, and they wanted to put a bodyguard on me around the clock and my home. I asked them not to. I said, I just want to go on and live my life. This just shows I'm doing my job well. And I think that even though these guys may be cold-blooded killers, they're not crazy to try to kill a cop.
Meanwhile, up to 35 officers carrying their own high-powered weapons continue to scrutinize the northwest part of Miami, pursuing every lead about every major drug dealer that comes in. And they have been warned that a mystery caller has threatened that the John Doe drug gang will retaliate against them with sniper fire from rooftops.
Crime Stoppers, can I help you? He's there now?
There's a Chevy green backed up in the yard. It's running.
Beige and brown house.
He's wearing all black.
What color is this car?
It's souped up.
More than 400 calls to Crime Stoppers about Anthony Fail and his former gang, the John Doe Boys. A police task force following every viable tip.
He's everywhere.
We'll leave him off the street. And however we have to do that. If the public turns him in, that's fine. If he turns himself in.
Something Miami's most wanted is not likely to do.
Man, they got so crazy in the city where it was that them crackers started putting poles down where you couldn't even come on 6-1. You couldn't even come off 62nd and go on 6-1. All that shit was blocked out in the daytime. Alex Pinellas was in office. His ass was out there with a bulletproof vest on. You know what I'm saying? Lil Bo, he can't give a fuck. Basically, he like, you know what I'm saying? He like, man, these crackers they gotta take him dead alive, you know what I'm saying? You know, he wasn't with the crazy, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't with that whole giving up easy, nigga. You coming to get me? Come on. Every day, nigga, it'd be 2 o'clock in the afternoon and you'll be on the one. You'll be at the stove, nigga. Shootouts. Straight up. Choppers. SK. Niggas whacking at each other.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no
cars, get the hell out of here.
They take the advice they got at roll call and come in for cover just before midnight.
The state attorney's office was involved in the drug fight with us. There was some drug fighting going on.
We saw young people, juveniles, get into violence in a degree that we had never witnessed before.
What we did is there was a task force that was put together to address this issue, because these weren't users, these were just very violent criminals.
We have a special team of dedicated agents with a supervisor that will come into that town at the request of the sheriff or the chief, with direction from the sheriff and the chief, and work that particular area, working violent crime, working standards of living issues in a community, and look to eradicate problems for the chief. Usually they'll last 3 or 4 months. We go in, we do the job for the chief, and then we come out.
Eventually that's how everything got knocked down. Everything got closed up by the feds. You know, really the local police. The feds came in and put everybody in jail.
Cops cracking down in Liberty City after they link more than 20 murders there to drug gang warfare. This indictment connects the John Does to 6 murders, mostly rival gang members or John Does who left the gang. But one murder centers around this man, the alleged leader of the John Does, Corey Smith. Agents say Smith's gang killed a woman to protect him. The woman was set to testify against Smith in a murder trial. 2 days before that could happen, she turned up dead.
These are some of the profile sheets that we've put together on some of the members.
While Fail was behind bars, a gang called the John Does took over the streets of Liberty City. The members, especially leader Corey Smith, were Fail's childhood friends. Miami detective Frank Alfonso says the John Does are one of the best opportunities going around here, despite the job hazards.
I will point out to murders in the area that happen within the immediate area that they control. The career that these drug dealers choose usually always leads to 2 things in their lives. And one is death, and the other is jail. And they're aware of that. They're very, very aware of that level and, you know, what their expectations are. But they choose to live that great life as they call it.
Miami police spokesman, Lieutenant Bill Schwartz, says his department hasn't seen a criminal as ruthless as Anthony Fail in a long time.
Well, as you can see, this is the rap sheet of Anthony Fail. It goes all the way to the ground here, all the way to the floor. A murder in the first degree, firearm possession, armed robbery, homicide, willful intent to kill. I guess the last line here is the one that we have to be most concerned with as cops, and that is caution. Armed and extremely dangerous. Mr. Fail is, I would say, Miami's public enemy #1.
We understand he might be wearing some disguises, but we'll get him.
And you have to appreciate he's not just hiding from us, he's hiding from people that would look to shoot him.
You know, but by Bo being wanted, where, you know, he had the little shit where he, you know, had all on film, ran into the little A-Rab, hit the little girl in the shoulder with the little fire, run chasing some nigga. And he really wanted for that, so I grabbed him, you know, and took him with me up the road we hiding out or whatever.
Tracking Anthony Fail has been frustrating. At one point, this officer thought he spotted Fail in a car and gave chase.
Well, in this case, the officer did the best he could, but his tire went flat.
Oh man, it was chaos. So many people, cars was getting stopped. Like, there he is, so many people fit the description. They stopped him, he'll stop everybody there, but he wasn't even here. A lot of the things they was blaming him for, he wasn't even here. So the media put you in places and you in another place, so me, I don't get caught up with the black folks' Harold.
Homicide sucker never. He had somebody over his house. The guy had a drug overdose and died.
Soon the reward's up to $10,000, and hundreds of people are still calling the police.
Who's that, Billy Walker's car?
Some to cash in, some legitimately to help, with all kinds of information.
It's going to be a 1982-84 gray Chevy Caprice.
Rental cars Anthony Fail may be driving, hotels where he may be staying, safe houses provided by his network of friends.
One of my first involvements was the incident at the store where Anthony Fail is seen clearly on camera chasing a guy into a store, shooting at him and hitting a 9-year-old behind the corner. And the irony of that is that same 9-year-old, the father of the owner of that store, was killed in that store several years before in a shooting, and I was a homicide investigator during that time. But he was shot in the head, not related to this, but also because of drug enterprise. Anthony Fail decided that after Corey was down, after Corey was out, Anthony decided, you know what, the enterprise can't stay the way it is. I need to take leadership. Sort of like the story of the old Russian czars when they would actually fight for power. Little Bo decided that it was time for Little Bo to step up. And when he decided to step into that slot, there were those that opposed him. There were those that said, you know what, we like the enterprise the way it's going. We're the lieutenants in this. We're the bosses in this, and this is going to be our faction. So, but you know, this is going to be our faction. We're going to run this enterprise. Well, Little Bo decided, no, that's not the way things are going to happen. So I've got to eliminate those that get in my way, and that's what he started to do systematically. He started to go out and eliminate those that would oppose him. We had a couple of shootings that were caught, I think, on tape. Mark Couch was shot, and we had the situation with the little girl. And, you know, these things were actually caught on tape. He was brazen, bold, broad daylight shootings in the streets of Miami.
He wasn't about killing nobody. But if you're going to kill me, and I see you, don't you think it's common sense to get you before you get me?
He into the gunplay. That's what he do, you know what I'm saying? If if it is on sight with him, you know what I'm saying, he ain't gonna lay on you. If he catch you and you know, if you supposed to get it, you gonna get it where he catch you at.
Anthony Fail, I know him as Bo. I mean, that's family. I mean, you know, we cool, you know what I'm saying? I've been knowing Bo since I was a jit.
By 16, Fail was already serving a 7-year sentence in state prison for a pair of back-to-back violent crimes. In one case, he pulled someone out of a car at gunpoint and ripped off their money and jewelry. He was charged with 2 counts of armed robbery and 2 counts of attempted murder.
Anthony Fail, you know what I'm saying? The notorious Little Bo, you know what I'm saying? That's my dog. You know, we linked up in the joint, the state joint. You know, I was in on the little armed robbery beef. Bo had done wet a nigga in the dice game because he been squeezing. He was about 15. You know, he rolled out, did about 7 back then.
Tipped that Anthony Fail was up in Palm Beach County. And we had about 15 or 20 Miami detectives, a few Metro-Dade detectives, and then a number of FBI agents up there looking for him. And we found a car he was using at a hotel.
With the help of the motel's night manager, 30 to 40 police officers evacuate every room at the Days Inn, except for one, Anthony Fales. They have to move fast. By now, the local TV stations have heard everything over the police scanner and threatened to blow the setup.
One of the stations went live from the scene and showed Anthony Fales' photo and said that we're at a hotel in Palm Beach County. They're getting ready to go in and arrest him with the SWAT team.
Given the media presence and Fales' status as armed and dangerous, police decide to enter the room using flash grenades.
A distraction device that initially has a bright flash of light and then a high level of noise.
As it turns out, the police got lucky.
The bad guy had pizza delivered, and they waited a sufficient time to ensure that he was in the middle of his pizza, distracted in that manner when they made entry, and it worked very successfully.
The TV was on and he was arrested. Luckily for us, he just didn't have the right station on.
After 8 days and thousands of man-hours, and despite the media's recklessness, Anthony Fales is finally in police custody. He is not charged with any of the gangland murders, but he is charged with the case he skipped bail on, plus the videotaped convenience store shooting. The police have a lot of questions for Anthony Fales about his activities and those of his former gang, the John Does. For reasons the police won't divulge, Anthony Fales waives his right to an attorney and talks to them for 12 hours.
And when I get to the little federal building, Bub, you know, in the little holding cell, so when I first come in and I see Bub, I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I know him and Bo beefing, you know, that's my dog, yeah, you know, he know that's my dog, that's what it is. So when I come through, Bub tell the niggas, you know, tell the CO, yeah, put him in here, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I ain't tripping, yeah, go and put me in there. So when I walk in there, you know, Bub was like, what's up, man? You know, I ain't beefing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to holler at you, my nigga, because I want you to ask your homeboy why he gave them crackers a 12-hour confession on me, right? So I'm like, what? You know, so immediately, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm rejecting that deposit off rip. I'm like, what? You got my dog fucked up. He like, yeah, man, he gave the crackers a little 12-hour confession on me, and, you know, I don't mind him fighting for his life, because that's what he's supposed to do, all the work or whatever, but he ain't had to tell them crackers all that kind of shit on me. That ain't, you know, that ain't the code, right?
He was able to discuss with us a lot of what we saw happening in the previous, say, 60 days in the Model Cities area that helped us get some insight into all the different groups and the pressures and the pushing and pulling on the retail drug sales and who was mad at who and who was shooting who.
Afterwards, the media feeding frenzy continues when detectives present Fales for a photo op conveniently in time for the evening news. This customary display is known as the perp walk. Fales uses the moment to deny the charges.
Y'all know it ain't.
The police won't give specifics of what Fales talked to them about, but the next day, 25 of his former John Doe associates are arrested by the U.S. Attorney's Office.
It dismantled the largest violent drug group in Overtown and Liberty City, along with a second major competitive group in one swoop. They were competing, they had this different drug holes, different organizations, and fighting for the same customers.
The question is, was Anthony Fales ever the real object of Operation Draw the Line? Or did the police just use him as leverage to get to the John Does?
Are you in the John Does? What are they like?
Who is that? What that
John
is?
Doe gang. You know what it is.
I know what that is.
Are you a gang member, sir?
No.
26 indicted today. Federal agents say 16 are connected to the John Does, formerly called the Lynch Mob. 10 are allegedly connected to a splinter group called the Cloud 9 organization. Members of both gangs face federal charges of dealing crack cocaine, money laundering, and illegal firearm possession. All no bond offenses with the possibility of life in prison.
Yeah. You know, we started the countdown off with John Doe at number 10. Now we coming in at number 9. Vonda Jackson. I never got the opportunity to meet Vonda. Heard a lot of things. A lot of true stories. You know what I mean? So, she coming in right here at number 9. Talents for life, I see y'all. Yeah.
Vonda's the only female in the crew that a lot of people thought they were going to walk over Vonda because she was a female, which didn't happen. Vonda went to war just as well as them dudes that went, you know. I mean, Vonda was a true gangster. You know, don't let the fact that she was a female fool you, bro.
I knew Vonda from Overtown, and to me, Vonda found her a space that she could do her thing. She had her little girls. Vonda was, Vonda to me was just like a person found them a spot that they can exist in and do their thing. You know, how big she got or what she became, I really didn't know because I ended up in the federal prison system, so hey, it is what it is.
I remember Vonda when she was a little girl. In fact, she grew up in the neighborhood that I grew up in. I remember she was running around with two of my daughters. I had two daughters about the same age that she was. And I used to watch them play in the yard, and she was always somewhat of a little leader.
Outgoing, you know what I'm saying, fun-loving, easy to get along with. She get along with anybody. And just as easy as she is to get along with, she'll set you straight in a minute.
I don't know if you saw this movie, what it was, New Jack City, and they had the chick with the gun that was Rockabye, and then Vonda had chicks like that with her, just like that. But you know, in the movie, I mean, it was just make believe in the movie, but she had real live. She had hooked it down gangster women with her that would do that.
The cheerleaders need a uniform. They could go to Vonda. Vonda would give them a couple of $100. Buy the cheerleaders uniforms when they ain't had. The kids needed shoes to go to school. You could go to Vonda and get that from them. Vonda was a real good woman.
She'll rent a van and take the kids to Disney World. Order pizza. She'll have a DJ, especially if they had something like a graduation.
Wow, what she used to do, like on an Easter. She used to get a lot of the girls to dress up like bunnies, and she'd dress up like an Easter bunny too, and they had the eggs and the costumes, yeah, for the kids. They even had things for the grown-ups too. It just, everybody just participated in it. But she was the one did all the, you know, the buying and the giving, you know. The kids were, oh man, they couldn't wait for Easter to come or either Christmas to come, because they know Vonda was going to do something.
Vonda just was put in a bad situation. She's a real good friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? She always threw good parties, never was a troublemaker. They just put her name in a lot of circumstances.
From what I hear, it was Rah-Rah that kind of got Vonda screwed up because he lied saying that she paid him to go kill this girl. He killed some girl. He killed that girl because the girl took some stuff out of his car, stole some stuff out of his car. And then when he found out Vonda and the girl had some kind of beef or something, then he went down there. But I think he deserved everything he got.
McBride was, to me, now he was a good dude. You know, they killed him over there. This dude named Rah-Rah. They say Rah-Rah killed him at the behest of somebody else.
That ain't the first time. I remember that time he was laying on the roof. He's supposed to shot McBride or somebody in that hole. He was up there. I remember he was up there. And then the dude, Papa Star, he killed Papa Star. Papa Star stayed in the building behind that. He was on the roof that time when he shot that boy, Papa Star.
We said, oh God, they done got Vonda. And the way they portrayed her in the newspaper, it was like they were talking about another person. You know, I'm thinking of Vonda and what she was doing for the community and the kids, not all that, like killing and the guns and all that and contracts. Nah, that wasn't Vonda. No, there had to be another Vonda. That wasn't a Vonda Jackson. No.
She got 20 years, but she got 20 years for 2 grams of cocaine. They convicted her for 2 grams of cocaine. They didn't convict her for none of the murders. They didn't convict her for none of the gang-related stuff. They convicted her for 2 grams of cocaine.
And they lied on that girl. That girl ain't no killer. They ain't never killed nobody. Shit.
These mayors, none of them, they ain't doing nothing. Nothing, doing nothing. At least she was doing something for the black community. She ain't never built no house or nothing. Might not be able to build none for these, because these Cubans ain't taking the money doing what they're supposed to do with it. These old mayors, they ain't nothing. They ain't about doo-doo.
I don't think Wanda got a good trial because she did too much in her young years for them to give her that much time. It ought to be down further than that or out because she tried her best. I didn't see her do nothing. It might happen, but I didn't see it.
Number 10 was John Doe. Number 9 was Vonda Jackson. You clearly see where we're going. But number 8 is a special name, a special person. Person I hold close to my heart, mean a lot to me. As far as I'm concerned, he's the trillest on the list. And that's Kenneth Boogie Williams. What some people allege the Boogie Boys. We all seen the story. You saw America's Most Wanted. You all saw the front page newspapers. You know, but Kenneth was a remarkable man. He was a man of honor, a man of loyalty. Even after convictions, he refused to cooperate. We finna go into the lives of what I feel may be the Trillers, New Devil Grace, the cover of the magazine, if you know what I mean. It's Kenneth Boogie Williams coming in at number 8 on YAYO. Pay attention, boss.
Dade County, Dade County, Dade County, Dade County.
Drugs, guns, violence, decades of deaths blamed on a drug gang known as the Boobie Boys.
Kenneth Williams and his group is responsible for 30-plus homicides and well over 100 non-critical shootings in Dade County alone.
Now y'all get them cameras out my face, man.
We've learned this man is also named in the indictment. Leonard Bo Brown, an alleged hitman for the Boobies. He was captured in Tallahassee last year. Others named in the sealed indictment are suspected in the murders of 2 people at a Miami gas station last February in which automatic weapons were used. And others are linked to the murder of 3 people, including a 5-year-old at a Miami apartment complex in May of 1995.
They was too trigger-happy. You know, with the John Does. You can't make no money if you attracting attention, you know. And that's what they were doing. All that gunplay was doing nothing but bringing attention.
And 7 News was there Thursday morning as federal agents took suspected members handcuffed into DEA headquarters.
Anybody who went to the trial, which I didn't go because I was in prison, they would have seen them people ain't had nothing but like 125 niggas getting on the stand saying, such and such did this, such and such did that. But as far as hardcore evidence, they ain't have nothing. No coke, no weed, no money, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So basically, to me, them the biggest gangsters in the world, the feds. But they do and take as they please.
In addition, some of those named in the indictment are suspected of helping the gang move drugs through South Florida ports, hidden in containers of legitimate shipments. The feds say these individuals are dangerous and that anyone associated with the Boobie Boys crime wave is bad news.
These individuals, these groups of individuals, and you know, they gave themselves names, but it was just a group of people that just wanted to make money and were very violent. And if you got in the way, they'd take care of you.
What the fuck is a gang? The Boobie Boy gang. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, one dude from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Him and his friends. You know what I'm saying? They hang out and they just chill. All of a sudden, they done turned it into a gang and gave the gang a name. Like everybody in the neighborhood was familiarized with who the Boobie Boys was. All that was just really a bunch of bullshit.
Malcolm Shaw, a.k.a. The Rat, sold drugs for the gang, according to the indictment. Drugs that the indictment says Susan Hall Gibson stashed in her Miami home for the Boobie Boys gang.
Rat, that's my brother. That's my oldest brother. He basically, he just got caught up on the house with a conspiracy law. They gave him 30 years. My brother didn't deserve 30 years. And you know, like Boobie said, you know what I'm saying, if anybody, he want to get out of there, he want to get Rat out of there. And my auntie Sue. You know what I'm saying? Because basically them two in there for nothing, you know what I'm saying? Rat don't do no killing, Rat don't do nothing, man, but gamble, you know, Rat like to gamble, Rat like to look good, look fly, and, you know, take care of some women. As far as my auntie, I love her to death, you know what I'm saying? When you doing what you doing, you got to think at some point it ain't forever. And at some point, things gonna get complicated, and at some point, things gonna have to get handled. So, you know what I'm saying, I want my auntie home. She you know, she don't need to be in there. She a good, sweet person. She ain't never did nothing to nobody, you know, but try to provide for her family. And basically, that was wounded her up where she at, because right now out here, it ain't too many opportunities for us. So the streets is all we got.
Feds say the Booby Boys gang moved thousands of kilos of drugs through South Florida ports, like the Port of Miami. And once the drugs were in South Florida, the gang moved them into neighborhoods and then into a mass distribution network that spanned the nation.
That was a movement, you feel me? Booby he was just trying to eat, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't no nigga who finna come in your area and try to take over your area, but he not gonna let you come in his area. Just respect the game, you feel me?
Butch alright, but I don't really too much kick it with Butch, but you know, cause everybody who was Booby friend wasn't my friend. You understand me? So I want to keep that, make that straight for the record. You know what I'm saying? I knew a lot of them guys, but they wasn't my friend.
And this is Ben Johnson, a.k.a. Bush. He's been connected in this indictment to 2 fatal drive-by shootings in South Florida.
One of those named in the indictment is this now suspended Miami-Dade police officer, Marvin Baker. This video was taken 8 months ago as the 16-year veteran officer was arrested by his own department on charges he conspired to rip off drug dealers, charges he has denied. Also named and still on the loose, the Booby Boys' reputed leader and namesake, Kenneth Booby Williams, now one of America's most wanted.
As to Kenneth Williams, there is an outstanding $56,000 reward.
Straight up, my nigga. Fuck the haters. All them rats, all the ones that eat cheese, they know who they is. They know who they is. Ron Ray, Zeus, they know who they is.
What they had to gain, but go ahead and just telling all that shit.
Man, them niggas already know what they had to gain. Them niggas already knew. They call that shit surviving, all these snitching ass niggas out here. Them niggas want to get out. Them crackers offer them niggas a little bit of time. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and just go on and turn against your homeboy. We want them niggas just like that.
He's a murderer, he's a killer. He don't play.
Basically, ain't had another game with freedom. See, because basically when you out here in this game, man, and you throwing bricks at the chain gang, first and foremost, if you out here in the streets, you got to know what you're facing. You know what I'm saying? This for all real niggas, and this is a very important part of this segment, man. This for all real niggas. And when you out here in the game, you know what you're doing. First and foremost, you stunting, you riding your Bentleys and all that, your Verts, your Chevys and all that, you wearing your good diamonds and all that there. Everything is perfect then. But when you fall, even if you fall and ain't had nothing to do with your homeboys, don't take them with you, man, because you know, you feel as though you got something to lose, or you want to get back out here to one of these hoes, or you know what I'm saying, you just want to snitch on a nigga to free yourself, but you knew what you was getting into when you first started out. And you know what I'm saying? That's something that I ain't understand. That's some new 21st century shit. These new niggas out here, play gangsters, you know, playing like you got niggas now, you going through with niggas, they shooting at you and they calling the police at the same time. So Ronald Ray and Zeus ain't have shit to gain but some freedom.
My little brother received 17 to 22 years. He has 22 years. He actually got that on the house just because of his affiliation. Really, you know, you had the rest, like I say, Ronald Ray, who took the stand and actually said what he said.
The way the game is now, see, it ain't like it was. It was loyalty back in the 60s and 70s and early 80s. It was loyalty. Whereas if a brother did something wrong, he had to answer for it and he did his time. Then he had his homeboys that looked out for him while he was in there and took care of his family. Nowadays, you got young cats just telling on each other, snitching on each other, doing stuff, whereas it ain't a lot of proof that they did that. It's just like a young dude don't want to do no time. And they feel like I'm gonna tell on this person, that person, this person, that person.
And it ain't no friends. I found that out over the years. Booby felt real comfortable with Zeus and he felt comfortable with Ronald Ray. You understand me? And that was two niggas that, you know, he felt safe with and them same two niggas that got on the stand and fabricated a lot of things for the grand jury. To be honest with you, I'm talking about everything was fabricated, because what they do is those guys get in there and they coerce and they get their stories together. And then you also got the feds, like when trick old boy Charles Young, just for the record, Bill, he got on the stand. You know, I just want the world to know this. It's Triller. We keeping it trill. We want the world to know this here, that Charles Young got on the stand and he testified against Boobie in the Boobie Boys trial and said that Boobie killed his son, Hollywood, which is Trick's brother, which was Trina's boyfriend. See, this shit's so deep, but we want the world to know, since we bringing it out, we keeping it real. So therefore, you know, he took the stand also, and a lot of these other guys that's walking around here and niggas embracing them. No, they done snitch. Niggas embracing them and feeding them like whole. But when a real nigga who they feel threatened by, me, got out from all blessing from God, they want to outcast me and spray me, you know what I'm saying, and scandalize my name in the street. It's busters, niggas, everywhere you go. It's killers everywhere you go. But what I'm saying is, Zeus and motherfucking Ronald Ray, you understand me, snitched on Boobie to get out. Crackers even trick them to tell on themselves to some point. You know what I'm saying? So they out here on the street, ride around, and it's okay for a dude who took care of their families, took care of them, took them to another level, and took them to some things that they never experienced in life. Niggas just snitching out here, man. Niggas who you think real, because a nigga squeeze, that don't mean you 100. And if a nigga with you doing this and that, when them crackers put that pressure on a nigga ass, man, a real nigga gonna stand firm in his position and the buster just gonna fold. It's just simple as that. I mean, it's shit out here that niggas want to stay out here for, whether it's a hoe, whether it's materialistic things, whatever the case may be, you got to already know. When you in the game, you got to expect at some point you gonna take a fall.
All kind of, you know, testimony, you know what I'm saying, to get dudes off the street, you know what I'm saying? All kind of niggas came back, niggas been in the joint for years already, coming back on dudes, you know what I'm saying, putting all kind of shit on dudes that ain't really out here with them. They just, you know, a lot of hearsay. That's how that Fed shit work, though.
An accountant killed and a tourist wounded, caught in a hail of bullets between two carloads of shooters. Countless crimes, decades of death.
They're brazen. They'll shoot anybody, anywhere.
All to protect their booming drug business, from import at the ports to sales on the streets, allege police.
Man, Black boy was a good nigga, man. Any nigga will tell you that. Anybody will tell you that. Black was a good nigga, man. Black was the type of nigga, man, if you ain't had it, Black would give you something. You ask Booby, hey, look here, man, let me get this and that, Black, man. Black did that. Motherfucker be laying around, ain't got shit, bombs, all that. Black did that.
For Booby, first of all, Booby don't want nobody saying Booby Boys. This is not a Booby. Booby Boys is what the media says and what the outside of quote-unquote entertainment world knows him, man. You know what I'm saying? Real niggas that know him know his Matchbox, dog check. You know what I'm saying? Matchbox is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Matchbox is a representative of what it is. The whole thing. Ain't no single nigga. It was a whole bunch of brothers. You know what I'm saying?
This gun was not acquired and purchased by this group to go out deer hunting. This gun was purchased and acquired for one reason, and that was to go people hunting and to kill people.
With all of these arrests, the feds say they hope they've ended the Boobie Boys' wave of violence.
We've done a super job so far in putting the organization out of business.
Well, auntie, man, like right now, I know she going through it. She lost one of her sons, my little cousin. Nard, he died. I think right there downtown in the Federal Building. And then, you know, you got her other son in there, Boo.
Hey, I get them killers out my face, man.
We've learned this man is also named in the indictment, Leonard Bo Brown, an alleged hitman for the Boobies.
Watch the gunman in this video approach from the left. He's about to fire enough shots to discourage anyone else from selling drugs outside this convenience store because his gang wants the exclusive right. A statewide task force is laboring to capture the new practitioners of the old technique.
That's my little cousin. I love him to death, but right now the pressure he beginning to fold. And you know, I mean, I try to put myself in his position because that's his mama. You know what I'm saying? He want to get his mama out of jail. And you know, I mean, I couldn't even describe him because my mom never been to jail, so I really don't know what he's going through. But like I said, dog, when you out here, you out here. But old Marvin is a cold soldier. You understand me? So basically what he did was, he went to trial, and he won trial for a gun charge or whatever. Caramel Francis was his lawyer, so basically it was a gun charge. So boom, out here in the jungle, even though you won trial, I want to keep it real. And he didn't really want to have another gun on him, but you already knew, like, we in the jungle. You understand me? So basically, I'm gonna give it to you like this, some of the best of us out here slip. You understand what I'm saying? And he wasn't on point, you know what I'm saying? And they did him kind of dirty. You understand what I'm saying? But that go to show you that the guys right around you be infiltrating you. And it was right around somebody who was right around him that told them guys who came to kill him that he was around them. But other than that, Marvin was a good dude. He got a lot of family members, a lot of people that loved him. You know, everybody got their ways, and it is what it is. Ephraim, that's my boy there. I met Ephraim through Black Boy. Like I said, a lot of booby friends weren't my friends, you know what I'm saying? But I knew a lot of them, so I consider them my associates. You know what I'm saying? And Ephraim was always a good dude, you know, and I guess he got caught up too. So what we doing is now we keeping it trio.
The United States Attorney says Operation Booby Trap has effectively dismantled the Booby Boys crime wave. They say here in Dade County, by effectively ending the Booby Boys operations here, they've cut the murder rate in Miami-Dade County by 36%.
Yeah, you know, we sticking to the script. We finna get right into it. Number 7. It's a man I got to meet several occasions. I was blessed to eat in his restaurant, you know, with his presence. And, you know, number 7 is Opelaka's mayor, Rick Brownlee. It was rumored that Rick Brownlee created the 8-ball, 3.5 grams of clean fish scale. I know there's a lot of money made. There's a lot of nice, extravagant lifestyle, you know. There was a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's what made Miami what it was. You know what I'm saying? Rick will never be forgotten. He's a living legend. And he one of the reasons Opelaka is highly respected. You know what I mean? Y'all get right into it. Meet the mayor of Opelaka, Rick Brownlee. Boss.
Dade County, Dade County, Dade County, Dade County.
That's my man, Rick Brownlee. Yeah, Rick was cool. Rick held down the triangle.
When I closed it down, I put a triangle, put a gated community. I caught more folk were arguing about that gated community, and it was there. My whole issue was to save lives.
They named it the triangle, and this is not the triangle. Because of the barricades, I guess they put the barricades up like that.
Right now, they done took the barricades down, but they call it a triangle because they blocked all that little section off in like a triangle shape. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it got the, you know, the little name, you know, the triangle.
You know what I'm saying? That was my buddy. Rick was like, he believed in Opelaka. You know what I'm saying? Rick did a lot of things in Opelaka, you know, good and bad. Get behind the mayor. He helped a lot of people get elected. You know, they might say that's not so, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the officers know Rick over there. They called him the mayor of Opelaka, which was ironic when the city had a mayor, but Rick helped so many people in the triangle that, you know, hey, you know, he could have been the mayor. It was Rick, Freeman, niggas was running it. And Rick had a lot of family in Opelaka, so it was like, that was his home. I grew up in 138 22nd Avenue projects. We call them apartments. They call them apartments, but they project on 138 22nd. And all the Brownlees stayed there. Talk about 40 of their ass stayed there. And all the Brownlees was crazy, and all the Brownlees was wild. And Rick ran the whole block. Rick had the block hot.
Rick ran Opelaka. He ran Opelaka. I'm talking, he had the police used to watch his little gym. He had a little gym or something on Alabama. They used to watch it for him. He was the mayor of Opelika.
The dope boys like ran as long as the police got paid, you good. You feel me? It's like, it's cricket. Niggas, know what I'm saying? Niggas will pay the police and the police will go sit in your trap all day till they shift up.
And Opelika is the poorest, you know, I think it's per capita, Opelika is real poor.
Well, Rick would also sponsor a lot of parties. Rick was, you know, stuff for the kids. They would do it in Opelika. Really, whatever went down in Opelika, Rick participated in. He had no problem long as it was in Opelika. So, I mean, when you, once again, giving back, buying uniforms for all the football teams, probably done that several times. A lot of these people don't realize how much these guys give, man. But, you know, we don't get, you know, again, we don't get admonished for that accomplishment. You just have to do your thing. Rick did a lot. Trust me, I know he did a lot. But how much he did, who knows? You know? Because, like, once again, we don't do it for that. We do it for the love.
Just about everything in Opelika basically was his, especially on from Alabama to 151st on 22nd, all that little stuff that was his.
Home style. And he had a restaurant down further in the bottom. And he had a car wash.
What happened when Rick went to jail? Opelika went crazy.
Last night, police say a passenger jumped from a car to spray this crowded Opelika parking lot with bullets, prompting a heavy show of force by a Miami-Dade SWAT team. Aided by police dogs, they searched the area with a deadly seriousness and the certain knowledge that the drug turf wars of South Florida are back.
It's just like, you always got to have an OG and that smart nigga, you know what I'm saying, behind that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, once the leader gone, shit, nigga, everybody running wild now.
Because he wasn't there to, the folks ain't got to eat. See, that was the God complex I was telling you about, where he didn't want to leave because he had so many people on his line. But after he left, them same folks that were on his line, they still had to eat.
Rick came home, you know what I'm saying? So Brownlee, you know what I'm saying, he came home, and it was like, that's our little area. Now we got to worry about what's going on over here in Opelika. Eat, we got to eat. They eating, you know, the Vaughn and them, you know, that was they eating. You know what I'm saying? Let them go ahead and do their little thing, but this little area right here, we just got to eat.
Rick Brown. Rick Brown, honestly, I knew Rick since I was like elementary. He used to come inside our restaurant and eat all the time. He used to always call me a little knucklehead and mess with me and pick on me and all that. He's somewhat the reason I got into comedy, because he used to talk about me and all that and stuff like that. As I got older and everything, Rick used to always tip me good, because I used to be happy. Matter of fact, I used to call him, make sure he was coming to the restaurant, because I knew it was going to be a good tip coming in. All he had to do was take the plates and all that, clear his table up, sit there and talk with him for a while. He'd give me that good tip. That was like back in the days. Then, you know, he used to have me, I get to drive his cars and stuff like that. You know, that was something for a young brother, 16, just got his license, 17, getting driving around in the fancy cars. You know, you ride through the school zone. I was driving slow before the school zone was put in. Make sure the girls see me. Girl, look at little Marvin driving that Porsche. I'm like, you damn right.
Couple, oh man, Rick had a fleet, you know. That's the 80s, that's the 90s. Rick had a fleet.
4 Rolls Royces pull up, nigga.
Every time Rick would get a car, like I'll pull up on the side, Rick be like, how you like it, Sam? Yeah, I like it a lot, dog. You know what I'm saying? What is it?
This skinny black nigga jump out the car. Minked out. Polyester, whatever. Gators like, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you can walk up to him and shake his hand and touch him, you know what I'm saying?
Rick was the very first one that ever put a footlock in the city of Opelika at that time. Rick, I think Rick could have avoided the situation that he was in. Rick was the type of person, he could have been a politician.
Shit, cause by seeing Rick them, they made me want to give back to the hood. That's all they used to do is give back to the hood. I can see them, I remember them lining us up, giving us $100 bills. Go take this to your mama, you know what I'm saying? Ice cream trucks and all that shit, we had all that. they kind of took the poverty out the hood when they was hustling. But my old girl and my old boys was like they was doing wrong. They was hustling, you know what I'm saying? Niggas was getting it. Niggas showed love to the hood and bought all the property in the hood.
You know, the situation, you hear people talk about drug dealers sometimes as if they're supermen.
Well, first of all, he was kind to the neighborhood, mostly to the kids and grown-ups, the elderly.
Rick was all right. He was a nice dude. Even if he didn't know you, he always gave. At his restaurant, if you're hungry and he was there, he'd feed you.
Rick was a dude that accumulated enormous wealth. Enormous wealth. They had Rick, you know, rated, you know, federal agents had Rick rated as one of the real deal boys. You know what I'm saying? The mayor. He gave himself a name.
I think Rick was under the God complex because he had a lot of people on his line. And I think that he felt like if he stopped, how they gonna eat? But what he should have asked himself, well, how was they eating before he started? And I really think that's what really led to his downfall, because he, you know, stayed in the game too long. I mean, when you got, you know, 10, 11, 12 chests full of money, I mean, how much money is enough?
I know Tony Martin turned state on him.
It's just accusations right now, and I'm well known around the community, and people who really know me know that this is ludicrous. This is impossible.
You know, when they went there with the deck was stacked against them because they hadn't allowed the people to make too serious a case.
Well, that situation right there, I had, like I said, I had some good things, I had some negative things. Pretty much like Rick was like trying to pull Tony Martin into a situation, you know what I'm saying, that Tony shouldn't have actually been in, you know, to try to save himself. That's what I heard, and that's what the media was speaking on as far as the Tony Martin situation with Rick, you know. Tony and Rick, you know, eventually met, you know, through friends, mutual friends, and Rick, you know, they say Tony bought him this and bought him that, and they say Rick washed his money like that, but hey, everything worked out to be all right. So my opinion, you know, hey, them crackers see a nigga doing stuff, they been doing it, nigga doing the same shit they doing, they want to just hate on that shit and want to throw the nigga up. That's how I really feel, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we coming off number 7, Opalaka Mayor Rick Brownlee. We coming into number 6. And this dude right here, this is what you call an original gangster. This is Overtown's Nino Brown, AKA Bunky Brown. You know what I mean? This dude was the most synonymous name when it came to the streets of Overtown. People whisper the H. Boy, yeah, boy. When you think of boy, think of Bunky Brown. You gotta keep it true. Overtime. It's number 6 is Bunky Brown. Right here in my YAYO. Boss.
County, Dade County, Dade County, Dade County, Dade County.
Bunky was cool. Bunky was the mayor of Overtown. Bunky started Magic City Lounge, him and his wife. I think her name was Claire. It'll come back to me. But Bunky was like the man. Bunky, if there was any problem, you holler at Bunky.
Any problem. It ain't have to be a drama problem. It just could be a problem in school. You could go and talk to him. He gonna deal with it. He gonna straighten that situation out. He gonna tell you the right way, not the wrong way.
Bunky Brown, Flower, man. You got to mention the both of them together. I forget. I know Bunky Brown used to give back to the community a lot. You know, with his football, his thing was the Optimist League. You know, he gave a lot of money back.
Oh, Bunky Brown, he was all right man. You know, he took care of Overtown.
Anybody needed something, he looked out for them. Paid a lot of them people bills from over town. Looked out for the kids. When Christmas came around, he bought everybody kid toys, bicycles, whatever they needed, school clothes.
When it come to giving back, Bunky gave back over town. You know, they might have made money from over town, but they gave just as much money back.
It's the OT, but can I say, you know, he had the football team and the big picnics and the big baseball games and back to school. I mean, before they were doing book bag drives and giving out paper and buying all kids shoes, and Christmas time every kid got a bike and all that there, man. Bunky was doing that long before anybody.
He ain't dressed all fancy and stuff, but you ain't had to dress like that in the hood. People know who you were.
Most of them played the Dickies. You know, they were all into them Dickies.
Bunky didn't care about dressing like that. Bunky was, once again, there go your Dickie man, your shorts. Bunky was an everyday dude. Bunky was a grinder.
Bunky Brown really wasn't supposed to be in prison. I forget if it was Yellow Man or Fly Man, somebody he didn't want to get this package. And the feds kept telling him, this ain't for you, man. This ain't for you. And Bunky just kept on and kept on, so they said, okay. And gave it to him. And that's how he got knocked off. The 10-key deal, if I'm not mistaken. So they gave it to him. He gave him everything that came with it.
I think they ended up giving Bunky like 165 years.
Yeah, we coming off of Bunky Brown. Now it's time to get into a dude I had the privilege to witness as a young lad in the streets. A song Ride By. He was in a convertible aqua blue Mercedes Benz. It was amazing. It took my breath. I just looked at it in awe. This convertible Birdo I'm talking about. This was one of the flashiest, one of Miami's most flamboyant. That $1 million gold smile. You know what I'm saying? He took the streets to the next level. He brought that real excitement to Miami. He was at a young age, painting everything, candy, chopping the top off. Everybody knew him. All the ladies said his name. Yeah, this may be, you know what I'm saying? This may be actually the face of Miami. It's convertible Burt. Right here, on the YAYO. Boss.
Convertible shit. Convertible. I believe he would have a convertible Escalade if he'd been out right now. Just riding. He had a convertible Bentley with Gucci interior. Now I ain't never seen nothing like that.
That was that baby before baby. You feel me? He was that nigga stunt. Like he was the #1 stunner. You know what I'm saying? You want to see some shit chopped off the top. You want to see some titties out. That's what we call it when you drop the top. This is the titties out. Titties out on all his shit.
The Burke was before his time, I think, Coach. He was jazzy. You know, he dressed that. I very seldom, if I can recall it, I don't never remember convertible Burke in no Dickies.
The last thing I remember about Berkey, we was on 15th and 71st of Miracles. One Mercedes being pulled up, had a little white chauffeur, lady chauffeur, and he was in the back, Mike Tyson in the back seat.
Like the dude asked my old boy, like, Tyson, hey, wait, what's up, man? Like, I mean, like, what's up? Like, who you real? Like, whatever. Some old boy said, you don't know me, I'm convertible. The arrogant nigga he is or whatever. And then that's how they linked up. You know, he was like old boy Jew. Old boy had a $80,000 chain on Cuban link, you know, dipped out, you know what I'm saying? Dipped in all type of dimes or whatnot, you know. Tyson wanted to know where he got the chain made from or whatever, you know. Some old boy linked with him like on that level.
Please tell us, how did you get up to meet with Tyson?
Tyson in the front room, man. I'm waking up 5 years old. I'm 21 at the time, right now. I'm 5 years old, waking up seeing Tyson on the front room, cows eating bananas, man, eating fruits, man. That was crazy, man.
He kept it real. He the only one did it. He kept it real. I remember he had a big ring on, a boxing ring with Tyson in the middle of it. He just kept it real. He let us know, you know what I'm saying, all us can make it, but it's just a chance you have to make. And some people don't want to make that sacrifice, so some people just want to work. You know, everybody want to live the life of everybody else, but you want the nicest thing. Some people just rather get it the honest way and get it slow. I don't know how he got his, but God blessed him.
Bert was the baddest dude, and I remember back in the day, some guy tried Bert in the Inferno. A fight broke out. I'd never seen a man slam somebody 6 times before he punched him. I'm like, how the hell, hit the dude here, slam the dude, bam, let the dude get up, slam him again, let him get up, slam him again, then hit him. I'm like, well, dog. The next thing you know, I looked at the dude like, dog, you just can't beat him.
Best thing I say he could have been a part of was the movie Trespass. He had a role with Ice-T, He had a big role. He the first dude I really heard about, a street dude, average street dude, had a movie role.
How did you get involved with the wrestling?
Real nigga, you know what I'm saying? One day I'm walking up the street, I represent my old boy a lot. I walk around with his shirts on, free convertible, you know what I'm saying? My old boy ain't no snitch, you feel me? I could do that. And the buzz I'm getting from the street, I got much respect. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking in the store, walking up the street or up to the store, whatever. A lady stopped me and asked me, like, who that is on your shirt? So she seen the shirt, face was familiar, like Convertible Bert. She told me, man, what your dad did for me, man? I tell you what, he paid my light bill, my light was off, you know what I'm saying? That means a lot to me.
I think Bert just believed that, hey man, if it was somewhere and it could be gotten, I'm gonna go get it.
Back then, it wasn't all the killing, it was just stacking money.
They had 2 informers, man, some dudes he never knew. One dude from Alabama, another dude from Atlanta, man, you know what I'm saying? Informers, workers. My old boy got jammed up on some bullshit, basically, you know what I'm saying? Free convertible, man. YAYO.
Yeah. Watching this documentary, man, you get mixed emotions. You don't know if you should smile or if you should frown. But looking at life, man, that's life. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta choose our path. We all know once we put our hands on that kilo, what the consequences are. And we accept that. But we all grind for a better day. We finna talk about Candyman for a minute. Yeah, I remember Candyman with the convertible. Used to come through Carrot City all the time. The P-Man Sam, another local OG. They most definitely shine shine in a major way. We finna get right into it. Here's number 4. It's Candyman. R.I.P. homie.
He graduated from the Marine Corps. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that he dropped out of high school.
Norberto, that was my partner. Norberto was like, I think the biggest part of Norberto's life was he wanted to be somebody. You know, Norberto wanted to be somebody. Norberto grew up in Homestead. He had a lot of friends, but Norberto felt like he never fitted in. He came down to Miami, he got with me, and we blossomed.
Candyman came up out the South, a section called Loranda Grooves. And he came in the game as a guy carrying speakers for South District DJs. And from there he elevated in the game. He met 2 young brothers out the South, Grooves, and he got with them and they carried him, which was myself and another friend of mine named Edward Merriweather, called him Bud. And from there, we just, we was already doing different things in life.
He was very competitive. He was really serious when it came to Triple M DJs. Actually, his friend, Master Blaster, I just spoke with him the other day, and he told me that one day him and my dad, they went to compete at a DJ competition. I guess they whooped everybody.
Yeah, we traveled everywhere, but me and him both had pieces with the United States on them to signify the states that we were strong in.
What else do I remember about my father? My mom always told me that he always said, oh, when you turn 16, that he was gonna get me a Mercedes-Benz. So that was always an inspiration that made me work hard and strive for nice things.
He wanted to do a lot fast. We formed Triple M DJs, which was called Miami Moneymakers. We put the base station together. We did the beach. Norberto believed in making money first and then just partying. Make the money. We used to go to the mint and just empty the mint. Norberto lived fast.
He was getting a lot of money. He was big out here in the streets. His son, I still kick it with. But the man had base station, the man was out here, and from what I understand, somebody who was close to him came to this house and murked him. Yeah, man, this woman, whoever the girl was, it probably wasn't this woman. And that's go to show y'all, YAYO, man, down here, don't get it twisted. You better believe. Greed breeds jealousy, like Biggie said. Okay, we coming out of Candyman. Like I said, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sincere with that. But we finna get into a real gangster. You know what I mean? We finna get into that Jerry Curl G. You know what I'm saying? That's what I hear some people used to call him back in the day. The Jerry Curl G. We finna go into Bo Diddley. Got no triller than this. R.I.P. the Fonz, you already know what it is. Bo Diddley, man, I salute you. You inspire my music. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. We're going into number 3. Here's Bo Diddley.
I brought him here when he was 6 years old from Georgia. My mama had. My mama had my son when he was 6 years old. She passed. Then I brought him to Miami. And then he went to school in North Miami Beach. Then he left there. Y'all don't want to tell. I want me to tell what he did. He went to school. He got kicked out of school. I went to school and beat him behind in school. And he was just bad. He didn't never. And then he got out of there, and then he went to shooting dice. Oh, he just didn't never do right at all. He was a bad kid growing up.
The epitome, I do anything I want to do, and y'all can't stop me. You know, Bo was that guy.
His thing was attending all the major sports events. Yeah, he didn't. If it was something to do with sports, because usually if it's sports, it's gonna be some gambling. You could believe Bo Diddley be there.
But Bo lived the Scarface life. If you want to know who in Miami was Scarface, that was Bo. You know, Bo built the house on 2 lots that's so nice in Carol City. You know, Bo was the man.
Oh yes, I went in there, tried to kill me and go stay in there. So I was staying there, them niggas kill me in there. It big nice house. Oh boy, I can't describe it. It was just nice. Gold and upstairs, downstairs, beautiful kitchen. Janelle, you ain't never go in it? Huh? Nice house. Very nice. Big house. And then he had another one over there. The one where he robbed, had my daughter, where he robbed, had his, he had, what he had? 1, 2, 3. He had 4 houses. And plus he had a store right there on 7th Avenue.
What was the name?
I don't know, hell, it been so long, I forgot.
Scarface, you know, all the way to the pillar, to the marble pillars and everything. I went inside of it. It's nice.
How they look?
Oh man, it's Bo Diddley spent money in that house.
Well, his house was built by Evans, you know, from Urban Construction. The house was tight, you know. I think, you know, I probably would have did it different, but hey, that's me. But the house was, the outside of the house to me was the biggest deal in this town. He had the huge columns big like the church columns. You know what I'm saying? He had the huge columns. Then he had Olympic-sized pool in the back, gym. I mean, had about an 8-car garage, you know? I mean, the house was gorgeous from that aspect. The inside, he did his thing in there. It was tiled out, spiral staircases, the Rolls Royce that sat in the middle of the house. You know, that's legendary. A lot of y'all might not know about it. But on a Christmas move, Bo went and parked the Rolls Royce right in the middle of his foyer and allowed everybody to vision it. You know, I mean, he was flashy. He did his thing, though, you know? But when you say the city, and when you say guys that everybody probably know worldwide, that's one of the names they gonna know worldwide.
This thing was gambling. I think he just was hustling because it was just something to do. Keep extra money, because Bo Diddley had money from gambling. You know, I don't know, you know, what he was doing, you know, initially to get his money. I know he started slanging later on, but he already had money then.
They gambling like a bitch in here. They gambling the fool here in here with all that money. One night I come in here, they were gambling. I won all of them damn money, wouldn't you? And turn around and give it back to me, told no gamble in my damn house no more. I won all of them money in here. They gamble every weekend. Jim had and Charlie come over here with that pocket full of money. Come on. Oh, them niggas gambling niggas in here. Jim was gambling out there in the damn streets and they were gambling in my house. I said, God damn, y'all bitches got all this motherfucking money and I can't get none.
They used to fly Bo to Las Vegas to gamble. Bo was legendary gambler. Bo had mad love from Vegas. If you wanted to go gambling, they'll send a plane for Bo Diddley and he'll go out there and he'll gamble $250, $500. That was his thing. You know, a lot of times gambling probably was what took him down. He was an avid money maker. Money wasn't his problem, just his gambling more so than anything. He lost more than he made. You know, I think another story, after he paid Evans on the house, he went and won it back gambling. So, I mean, you know, hey, man, that's Bo Diddley.
I used to kick it with Bo a lot, you know, mainly gamble. He on every set. You know, he trying to stop everybody bank. You know, ain't a car, if a car coming out the box, you know, he betting on it. You know, whatever, you can't miss him. Anything got to do with gambling, he do that.
Damn, I know how the hell they give him that, but I let me tell you, what we used to call it, what was his name in Georgia, what we called it? What we give him? Jim Dandy. That's the Grits. You remember Jim Dandy Grits? That was our nickname, but where he get Bo Diddley from, I don't know. Out there in them streets.
Yeah, but most of his was racing cars. Because I remember he had a place off of 7th Avenue. And 75th, 74th, so where he used to keep his cars. I don't know what it is now. But he used to keep a lot of cars. But Bo Diddley was very, very rarely here. You know.
Bo had exceptional cars. You know, he would go buy something, it was the first. You know, that was his thing. Everything he did was big. He bought the whole projects in front of Northwestern. He do stuff like that. You know, Bo was that kind of guy.
Yeah, he had a bunch of rides. He had Lolita. He had Charlie. He had Pookie. And he had, what other mama name? The other one. China Girl. Had all of them up in the stove. All of them fighting over me going on up there. My daughter Ernie, Slocum, and Trav. And what the one died? What his name? Ernie husband died. Slocum. Oh, it was a whole mess, yeah. It was a whole bunch of dope pushers. They had it going on, yeah. Jim had the women's fighting, and they had one little girl up there listening to the stove fighting. Pookie. She beat all of them down there. What her name? China Girl. Beat one of Jim's girlfriend ass up there at the stove 7th Avenue. Pull her drawers off her and turn her around and shot the shoulder to the cars coming back. I said, what? They had it going on up there. No girl was something else, fighting over my son. Ain't that something? He had about 30 of them. 30 women. They're still trying to get some more in the jailhouse. Said Lolita, Pookie, China Girl, all of them coming here for Quilla to give them that money. They had, I said, what the hell I know you had that money that put out there when they never got it, cause I took it. I told you the horrors if that's what y'all wanted to hear. He had them all running here and get that money.
Fonz was Bo backup. You know, a lot of Bo might tell you I ain't need no backup, and that's cool. You know, but Fonz was his backup. You know, Fonz was like a little soldier. You know, I hate the way he died, but you know, some people die that way. But Fonz just was a soldier, man. I mean, you know, he would go get it.
Fonz was bad boy. He got kicked out of school, and he was in them drugs and robbing and going on. And I really don't know he got killed too. He got killed up there on 7th Avenue to 7-Eleven. I really don't know too much about him because I kept his ass, beat the hell out of him. I mostly kept him quiet till he got up. And Jim bought him a car. Then I couldn't handle him then. Yeah, he's that silly. They said he was killing. And so he got killed. I told him, you die by the sword. You kill somebody, come back and kill you. That's what the Bible says. You die by your sword. So he took his life.
I think Fonz was the hot-headed one. And Fonz really was the one with in the game. But Bo Diddley, like I said, Bo Diddley was the gambler.
Bo Diddley didn't try to work with you. If he wanted it, it was like they want to try to take it or whatever. I mean, but that's the way it go down here. Bo held it down. What I mean, if you came into this town and you was tripping, he handled his business.
Track the old man kill a man. Track come in, his goddamn car light up like a, push the button and it flop like what you call that man, yo? Batman. You man. That man was killer for every time Jim tell him to go kill somebody, he killed him.
I was working in Tallahassee, Florida, going to my sister's house and the visit her put up the Christmas holidays. But while I was there, they had to put me in the American Most Wanted. The lawyer they appointed me to, he told me not to speak to nobody because they had labeled me as serial killer.
Funniest story that happened with me and Bo is when one of his security came to my base station and got beat up. When I look outside, I see five Broncos outside, and it's Bo Diddley and about 25 guys, and they finna shoot up my team disco. And so I went down and talked to him, and I say, Bo, don't you think this look kind of crazy, man? This a little much. This a teen disco, baby. And the man walked in there, if he got beat up by the security and they robbed him, dog, you can't blame the whole teen disco. So to me, if he would have did that, I don't know what to think.
Bo Diddley, I just know Bo Diddley like to hang out, have fun. He was like Santa Claus to the city. Everybody, he took care of everybody, and he was just a good man. He just like to have fun, gamble, you know what I'm saying, go on trips and stuff, and look out for everybody who needed some help.
Well, they say that the feds take everything, ain't took nothing, and he just sold it all up. Ain't never took nothing from him, like they take it from the dope pushers. Ain't never took nothing from him.
Bo Diddley, I grew up in the village, watching him coming up, pitching. One day I'd be like that, don't know what he was doing, but I just say I want to be just like him, have all the women, drive the flyest cars. Hey, that's all I ever wanted in life. But it's a price to pay for that deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, the money gets bigger, stakes get higher, and the legends grow. Leaving out of Bo Diddley at number 3 on YAYO. Bo Diddley, I've been hearing that name seem like since first grade. Cause I was a kid everywhere you went. Bo Diddley. But this next name, coming in at number 2, it gets no bigger. You feel me? It's Big Ike, Isaac Hicks. Heard a lot of myths about Isaac Hicks. Heard about his 50-bedroom mansion. Heard about a lot of money, a lot of work. R.I.P. to Isaac Hicks. Gets no bigger, baby. This is my YAYO. Check it out. Big Ike.
Ike was a big man. Ike did his thing. Ike existed during a time when he was like among the first. He was among the first that was incredibly strong. It was, I watched Ike build a lot of houses, and I was a kid coming up, but I watched him do his thing till the point of, invincibility. Some people get enough money where they feel like they're invincible. Thing where Ike found out he wasn't invincible, he made a statement, if I'm doing something, prove it.
Isaac Hicks was a very good man. When I first met him, he was in the gardening business. He went there to own a construction company. And he was a big help to a lot of the fellows in the neighborhood. He gave a lot of guys jobs. And a lot of guys are not surviving now because Ike is gone.
Ike was another country boy. Good man, very good man. I've never heard nothing really bad about Ike, nothing.
Big Ike, he was the man until his untimely death or whatnot, which is unfortunate. But he was very popular. He had the club down in Liberty City called Heart of the City.
Originally, it was a big movie theater because I remember I went there to the movies, and then I guess it didn't pan out too well with the movie, and Ike and they bought it. I forget who else was in it, but I know Ike was probably the principal in it, and they bought it.
I know I wasn't old enough to get in, but I snuck in. I walked in with a group of people, and I was with them, even though I was perpetrating. I ain't had no mustache, no beard or nothing, but I walked in, and every time, I think the second lady walked up to me and said, "Boy, what you doing in here?" "I'm gonna tell your mama." I knew right there it was time to exit. I was out of there then. But they had the hottest club at that particular time.
It was plush. You know, it was nice. You could tell he spent money in it.
A lot of you guys might remember Heart of the City, but that was one of our more classic landmarks. Everybody, all the hustlers got dressed up. We going to the opening of the Heart of the City, and the hustlers came out doing their thing.
When I say it was ballerific and stuntastic, that's when I found out what a baller was. When I seen brothers coming in, the Benzes and everything, the Cadillac, that's what Cadillac with shoes and Vols was out. When they had the angel in front like this. I'm talking about back in them days.
The Heart of the City turned out to be a failure because the people in charge of production tried to bring in the big people before they started making money. So this caused the Heart of the City to collapse.
Ike, well, most of the time Ike wore Dickies because he was a builder. So he'll go out in his Dickies and, classic Miami hustler gear, Dickies.
I really couldn't tell he had money, because all he wore was khakis, and he'd wear a nice piece of jewelry. He'd wear some on his wrist, a Springer, and some around his neck.
He always dressed like a handyman. He wasn't a fancy dresser. Maybe once in a while, if he went to a club, he may put an outfit on.
He dressed up on big functions. The opening of the Heart of the City, Ike wore a big Rolls Royce grill. It was incredible. That sucker was about this big. So, that's the kind of money that the guys had down here.
Ike might have been a little bit more flashy than Rick, and louder than Rick. Rick was like quiet. You never really hear Rick talk. But Ike, on the other hand, he let you know, I'm in the house. Stuff like, he wasn't no obnoxiously loud, but I'm in the house. Ike just came in. Like I said, when you're a nightclub owner, working in a nightclub, that's the thing you do.
You ever met Big Ike?
Oh, yeah. I done met him. Yeah. I used to go to his house when he had all them guys working for him. Me and my boyfriend used to go catch fish all the time. We canned fish and rabbits and stuff over there. A long time, I go, but I didn't know my son. And he didn't know I was dear mama. I guess he said, "What dear mama do I speak?"
That's when I realized what a big house was. I'm going home and I thought our house was all right. 3-bedroom house back in them days, I thought it was all right. And then when I seen something like that, 2 stories, a black man got a 2-story house, that's what, then right then I said to myself, I can't be broke all my life. I got to get my stuff together.
We had a Thunderbird one time. It may have been a 62 or 63 Thunderbird. He had a old Cadillac one time, which might have been maybe a 81, 82. He did not have a new car. I never saw him in a new car.
I represented the old coon in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just been getting money for years, don't bother nobody. You sleep on this type of nigga here. He's overall type wearing nigga Jerry girl, real country. Nigga got so much money he can't even count it.
I didn't need a lot of muscle. He wasn't that kind of dude. But he had his sons. I had his sons was all the muscle he needed because his sons was, I guess they had their little mob.
Well, the community think that he got a raw deal. I think he accused him of things he really wasn't doing. I think a lot of trouble came because he associated with a lot of people he should not have been associating with. But I think he got a bad charge put against him.
The detectives say they've traced the drugs back to you, back to your home.
Well, they lie. I wish I could have caught them detectives killing my dog.
The last time Isaac Hicks got in trouble with the law, it took a SWAT team to get into his house. Hicks's dogs were also killed during the storming. Hicks had yet to go to trial in that drug conspiracy case when he was arrested last night for an even bigger charge. This time, police found 23 pounds of coke in a house agents say he used for distributing and repackaging cocaine, most of which police say ended up in the black community.
As far as DEA is concerned, Isaac Hicks is one of the major distributors of cocaine in one of our communities here in South Florida.
But Hicks had friends in high places as well. Former Opelika Mayor John Riley was picked up in a wiretap on Hicks's home. Reference to Hicks were also picked up during a wiretap on Riley's home, but no charges were ever filed against Riley. Hicks's wife Janet was also jailed during the drug raid. She and two Hicks associates, one James Sawyer, a man police call the Boss Man, are charged with possession with intent to distribute cocaine. Hicks's attorney says the charges that his client is a big drug dealer are ludicrous.
Well, I always laugh when I hear statements like that because if they know that, then I'm surprised to find out they haven't arrested whoever this other mythical person is. And of course, it also presumes that police know who drug traffickers are. If they knew that, I hope that they would be getting them off the streets.
Hicks will remain in custody without bond.
Now, I don't know how true it is. This is what was told to me. He had a friend that Spanish dude that got killed, and he went to the dude's house, and his blocks was, you know, I guess the wife knew about the blocks, and they were just stacked all up in there. And I think she was giving them to him for like $5 grand a key. That's how he started. You know.
Basically, he just was a guy. He was a hustler. He was a hustler who knew what he wanted, but you know, this life we live don't often give us what we want.
When they came to get Ike, they confiscated like about 32 houses, I think, from Ike. You know what I'm saying? They took that shit over there called the Palace. That's like, that nigga owned the whole block. That just was a nigga that just had money. He owned this little construction company and shit. Niggas know about Ike. Ike probably had more money than any nigga that ever graced the surface of Dade County streets as a black man. Ike.
In giving back, Ike just probably helped a lot of people. See, a lot of people don't give us credit for the people that we help. And I don't think we do it for credit. It's just sometimes we blessed with incredible sums of money and it seems like it's the right thing to contribute. He probably contributed to all kind of things. I was not his right hand, so I can't just tell you each and everything that he did, but I know several people. He probably saved a lot of households. He probably helped a lot of people. Most of them did, because when you blessed to have, you gotta also be a giver. You know, so I'm pretty sure Ike probably helped a lot of churches. This was his neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Gotta contribute to your neighborhood, that's how you stay eating.
Well, if he was still around, a lot of people would still have jobs, and he would be very helpful to the community. A lot of people believed in him, and he had a lot of followers.
Just an older gentleman who was getting the money. He kind of laid foundation for young guys to look at this, what you could do. You can take your money, you can go invest in land and property. That was his thing. International Builders, I think, was the name of his company. Ike had a lot of kids. Ike and his wife both died in prison, you know, but I think he left a legacy out here of kids to follow and just try to live in his dream.
When we found out that he died from AIDS, we were very sad. The whole community was very sad because a lot of people did not think that he had AIDS when he went to prison. So once you go to prison, they can give you what they want to give you.
I gotta sit up for this. We down to the number one, the biggest boss of them all. And this is most definitely the biggest boss of them all. I'm talking about Willie Falcone. Falcone Organization. grossed more than $3 billion over a 10-year span. It was rumored that Willie Falcone could make Pablo Escobar wash his car. It's a rumor. I know one thing. Willie Falcone built Miami. Built a lot of hotels you sleep in, a lot of strips. Made a lot of car lots rich. It's no more richer, no more wealthier, no more treacherous, no more deadly. And the #1 man on that YAYO, that's Willie Falcone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the #1 man.
Well, you can't say nothing about Willie Falcone without saying something about Sal Galuda.
Willie Falcone loved the good life, loved to race along in number 20. Of course, he was able to finance his high style of living by importing cocaine, federal agents claim. His coke dealing ring was reportedly the largest on the East Coast and one of the top 5 in the world. Until the day Falcone and alleged Lieutenants Salvador Magluta and Lorenzo Beningo were arrested and charged with smuggling nearly 75 tons of cocaine into South Florida. The feds were delighted. They seized nearly $2.1 billion worth of property as they prepared their case against the Falcone group.
Building a case against the infamous and alleged drug kingpins Sal Magluta and Willie Falcone, along with 10 alleged associates, accused of working together to keep the cops and the courts off their tail at all costs.
They've done it by murder, by threats, by intimidation, everything that our system of justice says shouldn't happen. And they had unlimited resources to do it.
The charges in Friday's indictment center around Magluta and Falcone's drug trafficking trial back in '96. They were acquitted of smuggling 75 tons of cocaine into the U.S., accused of amassing $2 billion in assets over a 13-year period. The jury foreman in the trial, Miguel Moya, was convicted of taking a $400,000 bribe to return a not guilty verdict for Magluta and Falcone.
2 high school dropout millionaires. The police call the biggest and the best cocaine smugglers in South Florida history.
Them two went to Miami High. The reason they got so much notoriety is because they were into them boat racing, and which, you know, high profile, and they had them cigarettes which back then they were outrunning everything that the Coast Guard had. So, you know, they was bringing it in, you know, because at one point in time, I think they had them worth for 300 to 900 million.
And I just hope that our justice system respects the system and respects that a jury found us not guilty. We went to trial. We did it the way this country and this Constitution was meant.
Willie Falcone and Sal Magluta have been acquitted on drug smuggling charges, but that doesn't mean the federal government is giving up. Prosecutors are fighting to keep them behind bars. Defense attorneys say the feds are going too far.
It's now gone beyond the stage of legitimacy into more of an obsession and a personal battle.
Falcone and Magluta are still locked up, awaiting a money laundering trial in Jacksonville. Their attorneys tried to get them out of jail on bond today, but their efforts failed when prosecutors put up a fight, arguing the men shouldn't be released. A magistrate denied bond for Falcone, calling him a flight risk and a danger to the community because on top of the money laundering charges, he also faces a firearms charge. Now, bond was granted for Magluta, but then stayed because prosecutors appealed. Magluta's lawyers will challenge that appeal.
His personal reaction is he's on the very verge of freedom, which would really be the proper result of the jury's verdict of last week, and he is hopeful that the system works and that he will get a bail review in Jacksonville or a lifting of the stay on Friday.
Prosecutors are fighting so hard to keep Magluta and Falcone behind bars because despite a jury's decision last week, they consider the two the biggest drug traffickers Florida has ever seen. Even though a jury acquitted them, prosecutors maintain the pair smuggled more than 75 tons of cocaine into the country during the 1980s. Because they've been in jail so long, awaiting a trial now over, it's unlikely convictions in the pending trials would land them in prison. They have years of jail time credit accumulated. Still, U.S. Attorney Kendall Coffey will not surrender.
We are going to enforce our responsibilities under the criminal laws to the maximum, and we're not going to walk away because this isn't a football game. This is the real world, and this is about our responsibility to do justice.
Our investigation also reveals the latest assault on Southwest Miami-Dade focuses on not only witness tampering, but conspiracy, money laundering, obstruction of justice, and perjury, all in connection with the Magluta-Falcone court cases.
Bernie thought the men came to buy his boat. Looks like it was his life that was for sale. Former drug convict turned government witness Bernardo Gonzalez Jr. gunned down behind the wheel of his Jeep, allegedly by contract killers. They also shot his younger brother, Umberto, once in the head. He was taken off life support today. Those closest to Bernie Gonzalez say they knew he was a marked man.
I was afraid for Bernie more than any of my other clients. He helped to put over 20 people in jail. It could have been people who were looking for revenge. It could have been people who he still might have testified against.
One of the cases Bernie was scheduled for, that of powerboat racer and accused drug lord Willie Falcone, reportedly Bernie's former drug boss. Coincidence or not, Bernie and his brother are the fourth and fifth persons linked to that case to fall victim to crime. In April, Bernardo Gonzalez was listed in an ad in The Champion, a law magazine, paid for by Falcone's attorneys, looking for information on those who would testify against him. 2 others listed in that ad were shot last year. Both lived. But according to this government informant, Bernie's name and at least 4 others listed in that ad were also on a hit list. He says he heard Falcone's friends talk about in prison last year.
And they were talking about how they were going to get back at whoever spoke and whoever testified, and how they were going to teach, they were going to show the snitches or the government informants a lesson.
No comment today from Falcone's attorneys nor the government's prosecutors. The informant says he notified government agents of the hit list. He's afraid the killing is not over.
This is not just a car accident. These are people being killed in the streets. Innocent people. Umberto had nothing to do with this. And if the mother would have been there, or the old man would have been there, they would have gotten hit too.
Then witnesses against the gang started dropping like a judge's gavel. Luis Escobita, who was going to testify against his old friends, was shot to death outside a Coconut Grove bar. No one was ever caught. Juan Barroso was going to tell what he knew about his old friends. Last August, he pulled into this gas station and was shot in the back of the head. He survived. The gunman escaped. The next to talk about the Falcone gang, Lazaro Cruz. He was shot outside his Hialeah home. He lived, but the attackers escaped. And yesterday, the latest on the witness list, Bernardo Gonzalez was gunned down. He died. Again, the gunman escaped. But the strangest death of a friend of Falcone was the closest to him. His wife, Ailina, was ambushed on the streets of Coral Gables last August. But while the other shootings may seem like someone's attempt to kill all the witnesses, police are certain she was not the target of a revenge killing, simply a victim of random violence.
Unbelievable. 4 of the people planning to testify against Falcone are gunned down. A well-financed plot to destroy the government's case against the drug group, or just a simple string of bad luck for those guys.
The victims were cut down by what police describe only as a, quote, significant number of bullets. Bullets that hailed down from this rooftop.
Employees are advising there is no access from the interior of the building to the roof.
In 2 minutes, no fewer than 75 officers and a procession of ambulances were on the scene as a helicopter hunted in vain for the shooter. 1 dead, 2 critically wounded, another hurt trying to dodge the bullets. One of the wounded is a man named Ray Cruz. He's the brother of a witness in a major drug case. In May 1992, someone tried to kill his brother Lazarus, but failed. He's one of 5 witnesses to be shot in the last 18 months. All of them about to testify against Willie Falcone and Sal Magluta. When you listen to what this witness says and consider the setup for the shooting, it sounds like an episode right out of the TV hit series Miami Vice. Now this is where the shooting took place, 4000 Northwest 36th Avenue. This company makes seats for executive aircraft, and police say that 5 men who work here pulled up about 9 in that blue and white Ford Bronco you see there. In the windshield you can still see the tape left by the detectives to mark some of the bullet holes. Police say the sniper was waiting in the perfect position on the rooftop right in front of the Bronco. This witness says a white car with a woman and 2 other men was waiting on this side of the building. That the gunman shouted something in English at his victims after the shooting, then scurried down to the waiting getaway car. The getaway well planned, at least enough to evade 75 officers, police dogs, and a helicopter.
Yeah, you just watched the life of Willie Falcone and his partner Sal. And it's a coincidence that everybody that was lining up to testify somehow got a bullet in their head. Yeah, that was a real coincidence. But you can't do nothing but respect it. Willie Falcone, from 10 to number 1. I really feel these the names that made the biggest impact on this city. And my YAYO. A lot of stories, a lot of money. And that's what it is, man. Hopefully today somebody decided if they were going to become a lifelong hustler or not. Hopefully that somebody made the right decision. This is my YAYO. This don't represent everybody's lifestyle in Miami. I know that. But it represents our lifestyle, where we come from, where we products serve, what they made us see, what we see, what we made happen. A lot of people don't like it. Right? It's not my YAYO. I'm not made for nobody to like it. It's the boss and I'm out of here. Till next time, nigga.